I've got like a software background, I've got an architecture background, I've got a photography background. So I've done quite a lot of web development. So what I'm trying to do is bring all these things together.
Okay, so hi Nikhilesh.
Hi, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you in Oxford.
Yeah.
And it's been years actually to catch up once again. Yeah. So what have you been doing in the meanwhile? I was just curious with your story.
Yeah.
You live in this beautiful place.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate actually. I came here to study in 2000 and I did my master's degree in software technology. Now that's a long story as to how that happened. So as you know, we studied architecture and software technology is like totally different subject and it was quite hard. Yeah, so after 4.5 years of my experience in a photography agency, I said I'm a bit tired of software development. Let's try and venture out myself into the world of photography. And I really wanted to do architectural photography. I mean, when I was working, all my thoughts and all my ideas were about how I could start.
The hub of that actually.
How I could start an architectural photography business.
And you live in the gold mine of that.
Yeah, this is like this is hugely inspirational for me. I mean, we studied Bannister Fletcher, like St. Paul's Cathedral, Christopher Wren. These are like huge names for us. It's like wouldn't it be so amazing to just visit these places and see for ourselves how these structures were built. And now, for the past 20 years, I've been to Rome a couple of times. I've been to Egypt, and these are places where so accessible from here. I mean, this place itself is like fascinating, and the amount of work Christopher Wren did is phenomenal. I can't imagine how one person can
could have done
so much. Rebuild the whole of London after the Great Fire is phenomenal. It's just incredible.
So then now, do you see yourself like computer-aided technology? It's like something which is so futuristic, and then where you live is totally like it is actually talking about conservation.
Yeah.
And, it's a living example of conservation.
Yeah.
How do you bridge the gap yourself in your mindset? Like,
I mean, technology has a great part to preserve this heritage. I've done quite a lot of work with heritage projects. I mean, the reason being, like for example, the Notre Dame Cathedral.
Right.
Did you hear about the fire?
Of course, yeah.
I mean, what happened was the fire basically took down the main part of the tower. So if you wanted to rebuild that, would you be able to rebuild that just based on drawings?
I guess not.
Probably not.
Not to that level.
Do you know, they found out a couple of years back, someone had there was a professor in one of the universities, I can't remember which one, but he had the equipment, like laser scanning equipment, which does like 3D scanning and creates like a point, it's called a point cloud, and it creates like a 3D model by doing very precise measurements using laser beams firing at various angles, and he had done the whole scan of the cathedral. So he's got a full record of how the cathedral existed before the fire. So that is like a phenomenal use of recording your heritage. I mean, you could draw it to a certain extent, but laser scanning is like in complete minute detail, down to the smallest crack. You can capture that. So technology has a huge part, I think, in preserving the heritage, and I feel like I'm playing a little bit of a smaller role in terms of that. It's not, I mean, I am documenting heritage, but it's more photography related rather than visual rather than accurate representations.
So cut to date, can you tell us some of the things that you're doing where you're maybe bridging the gap, that we were just talking about with the technology and bringing to the fore heritage,
So this summer we went to Tallinn. So whenever we go on holidays, is usually I want to go to a place where it's got lots of heritage and pretty places to photograph. Usually historical places to photograph. And the 7 days we spent there was like so smooth. It was incredible.
So did you kind of do some kind of?
So I wanted to capture all that.
that?
Yeah. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to capture all these elements that we experienced as visitors.
Yeah, right.
To how best we can show that. So what I did was we went to the center of the square, which is the most historic part of the medieval city, and I took some panoramas there. 3 different places. Didn't require a huge amount of photography, but what I had at the back of my mind was to somehow not just make 360s, not just make panoramas. I wanted to get people involved and discover more what the place has to offer. So I made a little clips of videos of our activities. Like there was a pancake shop, mini pancake shop just tucked around the medieval town hall. There's a little kiosk there and delicious pancakes you can get over there. So video of that. You went just outside on the outskirts of the medieval town. There was this lovely covered market. So all these things.
The life
so
as it is over there.
What currently exists.
Right.
So I want to capture all these little bits and pieces and put it in one easy to access, anywhere in the world can access. Like, you write a blog, a travel blog, and you write it in huge number of words, but how many people really go through that? Yeah. But if it is like a visual experience, like, here you can see this. You click over here and you can see this. This is the panorama. This is what you'll experience when you go there. You click over here. If you're in the right time at the right in the right place on the right day, you can see this market or marketplace happening over here, or you can see cultural events over there.
So I'll take you on that one. So you're about to delve into a whole new space, right, with your work and the experience that you bring along with you. You're trying to merge a few things together.
Yeah, so I mean, I've got like a software background, I've got an architecture background, I've got a photography background. So I've done quite a lot of web development. So what I'm trying to do is bring all these things together and somehow create experiential, you can say, experience applications. To bring something that is inaccessible to quite a lot of people. So, for example, like someone who is wheelchair bound, who cannot visit many of the places, or someone who is autistic, who's like, autism basically, people are scared of new places.
Right.
So you can actually make them comfortable by showing some places beforehand.
Right.
So there are quite a lot of applications, the fringe applications, you can say, where you can use this technology to for the betterment of humanity, I would say.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a pleasure meeting you, Nikhilesh. Yeah. And enjoy your beautiful city, and we'll try to do that too.
With this rain falling. See what's going on.
I don't know if we've got a lot of rain on the
That's okay. That's England for you.
Yeah.